Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in to another live stream here this evening. The ballroom, yes. Where is DG? I am right here. The Trump ballroom is going up. Well, it's not going, technically, it's not going up. They're clearing way for it right now. When is the ballroom going to be open? 2027? We'll have to see. The confident foodies, what's up? Next spring, they say. Wow, they're opening it quickly, so 2026. That's only like 5 months of construction. Thoughts on New Jersey race? I think New Jersey is the best shot. New Jersey is the best shot for Republicans out of any of these bigger races for 2025. I think Citarelli is within a few points. Hopefully, there's more encouraging polling. I mean, right now I think it's a little bit better than a puncher's chance for sure. But it just depends on the turnout. You're dealing with a motivated Democratic base. But I mean, I could really see Citarelli winning. He performed very well in 21 against an incumbent. Thoughts on Tucker Carlson? Yeah, there's no way it's going to open next spring. That's what I was thinking. I was like, I thought it was 2027. I heard at the earliest, but that seems like a ridiculous. Unless they're like they got like people working on it 24/7. Like they expedited some construction during World War II. They finished shit so quickly. Unless they got some type of thing like that going on, I can't see it opening. They got to work 24 hours a day. Maybe they open it in the spring. Hello from England. How are you? What do you think about New Jersey party registration? Dems have lost 75K registered voters. Republicans gained 164, 239K flip from 2021. Yeah, I mean it's certainly positive. I know Dems still lead pretty significantly though in that party registration. So you gotta, even though it is really positive, they still lead party registration. It's more of like a momentum based metric, I would say. So there's definitely more momentum for Republicans in New Jersey. It's a state now they think maybe they can win, certainly at a governor level, but also maybe in a general election level. So it doesn't surprise me that there's that momentum, but I don't think that doesn't guarantee that Citarelli is going to win just because they have way more registered Republicans now. I know you would think it because Citarelli only lost by 2, and now they've got all these people, and the Democrats lost a bunch. But it doesn't work exactly like apples to apples like that. Thoughts on Jay Jones still polling within single digits? Yeah, I saw a poll that had Jay Jones up against Miores. Pretty insane. So we'll have to see. Imagine he wins. People are going to rage quit if he wins, I'll be honest. How dare him? No, I don't think he's going to win, honestly. But it might be close. I mean, obviously, the Democrats think Spanberger is going to win easily because they're not. If it was if they thought it was going to be close with Spanberger, they would have him drop out because he would have sunk the ticket potentially. But they think she's going to win easily, and maybe he can get pulled over the finish line by her. But I don't know. Did you see Akeem crying about the ballroom? I mean, I'm sure they're all crying about it. Sure, they're all crying about the ballroom. But the ballroom is not even, it's like the facade of the East Wing is what they had to demolish. And they're acting like the White House is being, like the interior of the White House is being demolished, and there's a huge addition going on to the White House. It's like a connected building of the White House is where the ballroom is being built. So they're all angry about it. That was a left wing influencer poll. Yeah, you're gonna get a lot of that. You're gonna get left wing pollsters, right wing. I mean, did you see the Russia sanctions by Scott Bessent? No, I gotta take a look at that because I heard somebody else was saying something about there being sanctions. So let's see if we can find them here. Sanctions on Russia oil companies demanding an immediate ceasefire. They're trying to turn a Pete on Russia with more sanctions because there's already sanctions on Russian oil. Now they're sanctioning Russia oil even more. I think Trump is losing. Well, he's been lost patience, but he's losing even more patience for Putin. You know, they were going to meet in Budapest, and Trump called it off. Does these sanctions work for the war ending? I don't know. I don't think the sanctions are going to end the war, honestly. I think sanctions maybe against India would end it, or tariffs against India, because they're buying all the WTI went from $58 to $60. Thank you for the donation. It's been really low, man. That's why the gas prices are so low across the country. You think the Russia situation will end better? Remember what happened when we put all those sanctions on Japan? Made it worse. Yeah, I mean, we already have massive sanctions on them. I don't really know if these sanctions are going to do much. I mean, I'd have to see the scale of them and how much trade we're doing with Russia. But to me, I think Trump wants to have a good relationship with Russia. They just don't want to end the war. They want more and more when they go to negotiate. They want a certain amount of land. They want a certain assurance, and they can't be granted it right now. I don't think they have enough land to be granted the assurances that they want. So why would they end the war? Something like that. Will Russia turn back communist? They can't turn back into the communism they had in the 1900s. It wouldn't end well for them. Sanctions seem pretty weak. I mean, really, what can you even do? It seemed like they slapped pretty hard sanctions on them in 2022. Or is it going to be worse than the 2022 sanctions? This 2022 sanctions didn't even work. It didn't deter Russia at all. So, I mean, whatever sanctions they are, I don't think it's going to be as bad as the 2022 sweeping sanctions that were levied against Russia. That it was all the NATO countries combining, saying we're not going to do trade with Russia. Although the European countries still need to do trade with them, but it's only like 6%. People make a big deal about that, like, well, the European countries are still getting energy from Russia, but it's like a very small amount in comparison to like China and India. You're surprised oil prices didn't go to $70. They're weak sanctions. That's what that tells me if the oil prices didn't spike up higher. But I remember during the unknowingness of the Iran conflict, they spiked to like $74, $75. I don't think they would spike anywhere close to that with these sanctions. I mean, if it goes from $58 to $60, obviously they're not expecting these sanctions to be that bad or that effective to price of oil. What year does the war end? I don't know, probably 26 or 27. Are China and North Korea the only communist countries? China's mixed. China's mixed now. They're a mixed economy. Why is Spain the only country not paying the GDP amount Trump asked for? Yeah, I know. I saw that. He got very angry about that. The 5% of the GDP. I don't know. Maybe they don't want to spend that much on defense, but if all the other NATO countries are paying it, maybe they have a different threat level of Russia. I don't know. Did you see the ICE raids? I mean, I've been seeing the ICE raids on the timeline. I mean, it's just all the same stuff. They're just trying to get illegal immigrants out. You know. Did you see a top Democrat today admit to closing the government because they really have this opportunity to make Trump look bad? Yeah, I mean that's the thing with this closure. The Democrats, it's like an opportunistic thing. There's not a lot of loss for the Democrats. They're not going to get blamed for this by their own party because they can just say, well, the Republicans have the chambers. Obviously, it's a little bit, you need 60 votes, but they can say that. And then on top of it, if you do some type of deal with Trump and Democrats think it's appeasement to Trump, they're going to get slammed for it. So for them keeping the government closed is very positive, I think, for a lot of the Democrat voters. They like that. So it's like a reward for them. Republicans, I don't think they really care either way. I mean, at a certain point, I think it's going to be a problem if it stays closed for too long, but a month or so, I don't think it's going to be a big issue. So that's the thing. There's no real pressure on the Democrats. There's actually pressure on them not to negotiate with Trump because if they do, they'll be seen as weak by a lot of the mainstream just Democrat citizens. Three Eye Atlas, what the meteor, the comet, whatever that is. Yeah, I heard about that. I was trying to find the meme coin for it. I think I found it. Have you heard about the military purges in China? A lot of top generals have been removed. There is a rumor of a coup on Xi Jinping. Yeah, that's kind of hard. It's hard to get reliable information on foreign countries. Look at Russia. So I don't know. Maybe there'll be a coup attempt or something. It'll probably fail, but white people benefit the most from food stamps compared to blacks and Hispanics. That's not true at all. Especially based on per capita, that's not true at all. Your dog name is Atlas. Huh. That's a unique dog name. Yeah, I don't think any coup attempt would succeed. I mean, you never know. We're not on the ground in China. We've got very limited information, but based how their hierarchy is structured in China with the Chinese, I don't see that being a possibility of a coup attempt or anything like that.
This is a national security problem. They killed 300,000 people last year, these drugs coming in. They killed 300,000 Americans last year, and that gives you legal authority. We have a national security, really, I will say this. When you look at the people we're dealing with, and we know them, we know the people coming in, we know the boats, we know everything else. We're allowed to do it. It's in international waters. If we don't do it, we're going to lose hundreds of thousands of people. Now, they'll be coming in by land a little bit more because they're not coming in by boat anymore. There are no boats in the water. There are no more boats. We know the boat almost immediately. It's pretty unusual when you see somebody with a fishing rod and 5 engines on the back of the boat. You don't need that to go fishing. Wait. And we will hit them very hard when they come in by land. and they haven't experienced that yet. But now,
That's what they do is they'll put like, they'll have a little dinghy fishing boat. They'll have 4 or 5 of the engines, just like in that one movie. They're not here to fish. Captain Phillips.
the ballroom, I think there'll be nothing like it, and it's being paid for 100% by me and some friends of mine, donors to it. The government's paying absolutely nothing. We're also working with the military on it because they want to make sure everything's perfect, and the military is very much involved in this. They want to make sure everything is absolutely beautiful. You can see the kind of interiors that we're talking about. That's an interior of the ballroom, and it's the highest level. And you see it goes beautifully with the White House. I mean, the mix is beautiful. So over the years, many presidents have made changes. This obviously would be the biggest change, but this was something they've wanted for at least 150 years. The ballroom.
Yeah, well, that's the ballroom, and it's a big event space, and it's for hosting all the foreign leaders, the parties, the foreign. It's like bigger groups, and it makes sense to do it because there's no real area connected to the White House that can host events like that. That's why they have to have the temporary tents up when they do it. So that's really why Trump wants that. I think they're kind of making a big deal about it. I mean, I guess it is a large building close to the White House, but a lot of this is like, well, because it's Trump, they got to make a huge deal about it and say it's this terrible thing, I think. Would you get a BMW M3? I don't know what that car is. I never seen that car. Thank you for that. Trump has gone nuclear on Russia today. New oil sanctions, and the okay to Ukraine to do deep strikes into Russia with missiles. Well, something has to give, and he's trying to pressure Russia to come to the negotiating table. I think. I don't know really what sanctions are going to do at this stage. I mean, they already have heavy sanctions on them. Maybe the strikes might do something, but it seems like it's going to be a hard task at this point based on everything we've heard about Russia to get them to negotiate, especially by force to get them to negotiate. But who knows? Maybe it depends what their military situation is with Russia. If they're not in a great place, and then you add these strikes to it, maybe it becomes a problem for them, and they want to negotiate out of the war. But I don't see that happening right now. Apparently, Trump said he didn't greenlight the missile strikes. Well, I don't. I would imagine the missile strikes haven't happened yet. That'd be breaking news if they did. Would you get a Hellcat? No. Oil back to 2019 prices. Yeah, we could use that economy again. We could use the 2.1% inflation. We do have oil really low right now. But this has got to be good, you would think, for Trump. It has to be good. I mean, if you've got gas prices at 250, 260 in some of these states, do you think Deion Sanders will leave Colorado anytime soon? I heard his health is not doing well, so I don't know what's going to happen with him. But I just heard that a few weeks ago. They've kind of had an under the radar season with Shador going to the NFL. When you get a new car, will you do a vlog? Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I could get a new car. I don't know if it's worth it, honestly. It's just like, it's one of those things. I'm not sure. Like, cause the thing is I want to be in a really good financial spot when I get it. It's just like not worth it. Like new cars are extremely expensive. I just don't know if it's worth it. No, I wouldn't get an SUV. SUVs are more convenient for sure. With in terms of being able to lug stuff places, but I've seen a lot of those Cadillac SUVs, man. Holy, I don't know if it's just like I'm seeing the Cadillac symbol more, and I'm like susceptible to finding the Cadillac symbol. Dude, there are so many Cadillac SUVs on the road, at least in my city. Like it's insane. That's got to be like the number one selling SUV. You of all people knows you are throwing away money buying a new car. Do what makes sense. Well, I mean, it depends how much you value it. You're throwing away money in what sense? You could have a new car for 2 or 3 years, sell it. Yeah, sure, you lose money on it, but it's like, I mean, if it's something that you want, you lose money off of, but like anything I buy off of Amazon, I lose money off of. I mean, but it's like, I don't know. It's like that type of stuff is it's materialistic stuff. It's just I used to be more into that stuff, but I never really got any of it. So many uneducated drug and food snap using white people makes you question the state of decline of white culture, and even if it's worth saving from diversity. Well, I mean, you're gonna have that with every. I mean, it's disproportionately with the minority groups. So, I mean, obviously there are some white people that are like that, but that's not a proper reason for that. That's yeah. I don't really want to get a used car, man. I mean, I hear what you're saying. You can get a used car. Yeah, the used cars are marked down to shit for sure. But like the problem with used cars is you really don't know the history. They say the history, but it's like you don't know the interior, you don't know the situation, you don't know what's happened in the car. I mean, there's all these different things you got to take into account. Why hasn't anyone mentioned that Harry Truman remodeled the White House to its stuff? Yeah, I mean the White House has gone through many remodels, but it's a lot of it's just like they hate Trump, so Trump does something, they're gonna be against it, even if it is like privately financed. Imagine if it was taxpayer money. We got another immigrant causing a multi-car pileup. It looks like. Yeah, it's just so obvious. Like this is. Oh yeah, I remember seeing the video of this. It's pretty insane.
Exclusive dash cam video, which is now the subject of several law enforcement investigations.
Look at the
It
engine
shows
on
the
fire.
moment a red semi-truck plowed into a number of vehicles on the westbound 10 freeway in Ontario just after 1 p.m. yesterday. The CHP told the LA Times the driver of this big rig is a 21-year-old man who is now under arrest on suspicion of driving under the influence of drugs. A total of 4 semis were involved and also 4 passenger vehicles, one of them exploding in flames.
No, I wouldn't have an interest rate. I'd buy the thing, dude. I'm not gonna have an interest rate. Yeah, I saw Gavin Newsom's remodel. leasing cars, it's kind of like renting, though. It's really like a situational thing, like leasing cars. That's why people say renting is so bad. You don't own anything, but it's like a circumstantial life thing. It makes sense in the right circumstance. But I wouldn't want to lease personally. Why was Massey with Rand Paul yesterday? I don't know. They're like they think they're like outsiders within the Republican Party, so they're trying to do that thing where they're fighting for the American people and they're not playing the political game, and I guess that's like libertarian. Bought a new used car a year ago. It's still worth more than I paid despite putting 40K miles on it. Well, that's you bought a new car and you put 40K miles on it. You mean you bought a used car and it appreciated somehow? You must have bought a rare model or something on it because that's very rare. So you put 40K miles on a car and appreciated. I mean, there's no way you bought a new car, put 40K miles on it and appreciated. Loses value the moment you take. That's a lot of things that you buy though. Things are obviously less valuable when they're used by people. I mean, that's just it's a I mean, obviously cars are scaled up because of their price, but did you see liberal hive mind's video on all those black people crashing out over not getting EBT? Absolutely hilarious. No, I mean I've seen some of I didn't see that specific video, but I've seen some of it where they're like the orange man or the Cheeto man. They can't get their EBT. They can't get food stamps. Trump's getting rid of a lot of that stuff. The welfare stuff. The welfare state's got to end. I mean, with this crazy, they don't want it to end. Liberals want it to actually get expanded, but they just want rich people to pay higher taxes. Trump is trying to nip it in the bud. A lot of people siphoning off of it, using it as a crutch and saying, go get a job. And, they're not going to like that. Then they're just going to call Trump racist. And we're going to have to go through this. How long do you think the government shutdown will last? 22 days so far. Might be 30 days due to Democrats holding it hostage. Yeah, I think it'll probably. I mean, I don't know exactly. Who knows, right? You really can't predict it. So, I mean, you could be looking at. There are these elections upcoming. So maybe around the elections, maybe a little bit before or after the elections, I would say, in early November. Welfare was reparations. I mean, in a way, if you look at the proportion race with the amount of welfare given, you 100%. What is your opinion about bailout of college debt for some people that Trump was making deal with Teachers Association? I haven't seen that. Yeah, that's always a tough thing. I think it's unfortunate for kids to have that much debt, but at the same time, a degree is an asset. So, if you have a degree, it's an asset to get a better paying job, and that's how you pay off the debt. I'm not saying it's a good system, but the system itself is really propped. I mean, it's this new wave of feminism and everyone in the workforce. It's just completely bloated everything. It's bloated the cost of degrees. It's bloated. It's decreased wages for everyone with more people entering the workforce. And so now these degrees are becoming not worthless, but they're worth a lot less. And the return on investment on them is so horrible. And all these kids are so angry. They're like, I didn't even do anything. I just did what everyone else was doing. And now I have 50K debt with a degree that really is the degrees don't really guarantee you jobs. I mean, they help a bit, but it depends what the degree is in. But it's like, dude, I don't know. I mean, what is the bailout going to cost? How is this structured exactly? We're not in the business to bail a bunch of these kids out. I guess it depends the cost of it, but there's just too much debt and the deficit is too high. Your immigration video was really good. White people losing majority is scare theft. They've already lost it in every major city, isn't that? I mean, and it's rapid. Like, look at any major city in the United States, and you'll see. I mean, losing it overall is kind of like, I guess, a symbolic thing. But any major city, it's majority minority. And then, like, overall for the country, I mean, the suburban areas are still probably going to be, you would imagine, mainly white. But I mean, if you've got like 43%, Gen Z white birth rate, that's I guess it's not surprising, but based on the birth rate decline. Tucker clip, which, yeah, Tucker actually had a few difficult. Tucker was bad mouthing Bitcoin. Dude, it's like the boomer slop. Oh, it was created by the CIA. That's like the most low reg thing, really, is created by the CIA. If anything, it undermines fiat currency. Why would they create that? And it is anonymous. They say, well, it's all traceable. Well, why do you think it's used to launder? It's extremely hard to track. Even though everything's on a blockchain and it's transparent, it's very hard to track transactions back to people. Tucker was also created by the CIA. Well, I mean, his father was, I guess. Per Google AI, as of 2025, federal student don't 1.6 trillion. How would the government get that money back? I guess you can just garnish wages for their whole life, basically. 1.6 trillion. Yeah, I don't know. That's a lot, man. That's a lot. That's adding, it's adding another 1.5 trillion to the debt if you want to bail them all out, I guess. BitTensor is having a halving in 60 days, could be bullish. Yeah, I think it's a good investment. I mean, they say it's the AI Bitcoin, and the AI has not even come close to taking off a lot of the AI coins in crypto. And it's the main one. It's the main hub where all the agents are built on. You've also got virtuals as well, but you could create like a. I mean, I don't know. It's hard with cryptocurrency just because it's been so bad. People are surprised at how bad it's been the past few days or few weeks, with it being October. Scroll down, there's nothing to scroll to, man. It's like, I don't know, these clips are just, this is retarded. Is this what they think what it is? There's no way this is right. This is an AI slop image. Trump 2028. We will do it no matter what. We are the people are locked in for a Republican sweep in 2026. Trump 2028. Nothing will ever change my mind. Thank you for the donation. Yeah, so this is Trump's ballroom. It's connected directly to the White House. You want to be black? You're buying a Cadillac? Well, I mean, I don't even think that's a black person car. I thought a Hellcat was a black person car. I mean, obviously it's AI bullshit. Tucker Carlson says he doesn't invest in Bitcoin because the CIA created it. Really? This is boomer slop. The CIA created something to circumvent fiat currency. I mean, they created like a technology in relation to the creation of Bitcoin, but they didn't create actually Bitcoin. Mm-hmm.
That's true, but I fear that it will become like so many other things in our country, a scam of sorts run by a coalition of the financial beneficiaries, like a few people who are getting all the winnings, and the politicians they control who use it to further their control of American society. I'm really worried about that. And so I'll just be totally blunt with you. I'm a gold buyer, and I've been vindicated big time in that. And everyone's like, oh, you're crazy buying gold. Yeah. You know, it was good enough for the Phoenicians. It's good enough for me.
Yeah, but gold has vastly underperformed Bitcoin even in the last 3 or 4 years.
And I, in general, don't get involved in anything I don't understand. I think that's a really good rule. There's some things I think I understand. Turns out I didn't understand them. But in general, I try to limit myself to things I understand. And nobody can explain to me who Satoshi was, the creator of Bitcoin, this mysterious guy who apparently died, but nobody knows who he was. You know, I grew up in D.C.
Well, people don't know if he died.
Government family, so CIA. That's my guess. Can't prove it, but like, you're telling me to invest in something whose founder is like mysterious and has billions of dollars of unused Bitcoin. Like, what is that? And no one can answer the question, including some of the biggest holders of Bitcoin in the world. Do I know personally? They're like, oh, it doesn't matter. What matters to me, right?
Yeah, it is a turning point event. So that's what he's. I mean, that's like a 2018 Bitcoin take. I mean, you would think with all the ETFs and the normalization of it, it'd be like the anonymity is kind of the point. The ambiguity. Trump RX.
Trump RX, a new website to connect patients directly with the best prices. How might Trump and RX and direct patient programs improve affordability for patients? Your basic why you're doing this.
Yeah, I mean, we'll work with Trump RX. I mean, it's incredible. It's stupendous. It's like the most incredible program ever. And so we're excited to offer them our API so that they'll be able to download our daily prices. So when they go down, everybody benefits. Plus, I like what they're doing with the MFNs because, as I mentioned in my comments, our brand drugs are more expensive because PBMs are involved. And with Trump RX and the MFN program, that allows manufacturers to work around the PBMs and work directly to patients. So I think it'll save seniors, it'll save everybody a lot of money.
Trump RX, a new website to connect.
Yeah, that's what Cuban has too. Cuban has something like that. You go and you shop the best prescription drug prices, you find the lowest one, and then that's the one you get. You know, you use the competitive nature of the market against itself. I think that's the concept of it. That's like the concept of the Trump RX thing. They find the stuff, the cheapest price, so that's the price you get. So we'll see. But Cuban has had something like that. Cuban looking pretty rough. Yeah, he looks aged a bit. What's up with you acting like you are black lately? You got like an obsession with black people or something. I don't know why you're being weird, bro. The Harry Sisson clips. Dude, Harry Sisson, he's like a 5-year-old. Jack Posobiec was talking. He couldn't stand that Jack Posobiec was talking. He started making all these. Daniel, I think you'd like this barbershop, Daniel. You seem to be obsessed with black people.
What Donald Trump should do is when he leaves the office, run for governor of California. And just take over California and fix it. It would
Dude,
be
these
hilarious.
guys were on his podcast again. Trigonometry.
If he did, it would be one of the funniest things of all time. If an 82-year-old man steps into the office of governor of California, we're going to fix everything. You've got a problem with water. I know how to get the water. It would be fucking hilarious. What Donald Trump should do.
These guys have been on his podcast like 100 times. You think he'd get other people on? You're on a work trip in Atlanta, was at a park where there was an Arab family and the woman had a full face mask like you see in movies. Shit's getting too much. Yeah, Atlanta, I'm sure. Atlanta is crazy. Minority, majority. Yeah, I think Rogan had the trigonometry guys on again recently. For like the 9th time. He had Tom Segura on. Remember when he had Tom Segura on all those times? Joe Rogan should do an interview with Hunter Biden. That would be worth watching. I don't know, man. I'm kind of over the Hunter Biden shit. Like, Rogan has gotten boring lately. Yeah, I haven't listened to Rogan in forever. Rogan is getting pretty redundant too. He'll probably have Sanders back on. Well, how many times? I know he had Bernie on back in like 2015. I think he's probably had him on one other time since then, but at least Rogan doesn't have Dave Smith on again. Dude, yeah, Dave Smith's gone on there probably like 17 times, honestly, if I had to guess. Vacationed in Maine coast this past summer. It was an ice cream stand full of old white leftists and a van of 3 Arab guys, 5 fully clad Muslims with Saudi Arabian headbands. The place went silent. Okay, you're just making that up. You're just making that up. Come on. We need another Joe Rogan, Alex Jones collab. Yeah, I'm surprised they haven't done one. You know, they're both in Austin. So that surprises me. You would think, I thought for sure, you know, with Alex and getting back on X and everything like that, they would have done one even before the election. So I don't know if it's like, that's really, because you know Alex would do it at any time. He'd do another Rogan episode. So I don't know why that never really happened. I mean, I guess they still might do it, but at this point, it's like, they kind of missed the window. I mean, I guess he could go on there at any point. We need Joe Rogan, Nick Fuentes. Yeah, I mean, that's probably inevitable, honestly. He'll probably have him on. Because Fuentes is going on, like, everything that I've seen. I didn't even know Dave Smith had a podcast, but he had a podcast with Dave Smith. Which city did you say had a Muslim town? Dearborn, Michigan? That would be the city. Hakeem Jeffries on Rogan. You know, Gavin Newsom wants to go on there, but Rogan doesn't want to have him on. I find that interesting. I'm surprised. I think Rogan has like a sore spot with Newsom. Well, Rogan left California and people say, well, you left because of the taxes and everything. Rogan tries to keep up like this independent image. But apparently Newsom really wants to go on Rogan. It doesn't surprise me. It seems like he really wants attention in general. But Rogan doesn't want to have him on. Rogan never had Charlie Kirk on. No, I don't think he ever did. You'd like to see Newsom on, it would be a fun slugfest. Yeah, normally Rogan isn't really compatible with that stuff.
Change agent tip $9.99 through Super Chat. DG, what does it feel like to live in a state that is high in the middle but high on both ends?
What do you mean by that? Is that a trick question? A state that's high in the middle but high on both ends. Like the middle class or something? I'm not sure about that one. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what that is. High in the middle, but high in the middle, but high on both ends. Ohio. High in the middle, but high on both ends. I mean, I guess a little riddle. Idaho. Ohio. You went to ASU and guess now they play the Muslim call prayer in a mosque downtown in Tempe. Guess it's been a thing for a while. Really? At Arizona State? I don't know. Mehdi Hassan, that dude. Dude, that dude is just trolling. I really think that. He's just like, I don't even, these people, it's like, why, if you hate the country so much, it really is a great question. Why are you here, brother? You hate our country, you think we're all white racists, so why come here and constantly say you're needed here? You're not needed here. You're not needed here. So why? You know, the lady from The View was like, I live in an all-white neighborhood and I don't feel safe. Well, then move to a different neighborhood. High in the middle, but round on both ends. Oh, so it was wrong. So we did like a riddle but you said it wrong. It had to have been something like that. I was like, because it doesn't make sense for it to say high and high on both ends, but. Who do you think the future face of the right is after Charlie Kirk was murdered? Well, I mean, it depends what you mean by like. I mean, I think right now it's Vance is next in line. Who do you think is going to win the World Series? Thank you for the donation. If, the Dodgers are going to win the World Series, probably, man. Probably Dodgers in 6, if I had to guess. It's like the most cookie cutter prediction. If Jack wins New Jersey, do you think GOP starts investing in a New Jersey, more potential swing state if it happens? Yeah, it would really only heighten the narrative and the momentum in New Jersey from a general election standpoint if Jack ended up winning, for sure. I don't know how much money they'd invest into it, but I think you'd have to look at some of the early polling for 2028 and see the voter registration. I mean, but it would definitely it'd be like a momentum based thing that would really carry, and people would start hinting at, well, maybe it is a swing state. But I mean, the governor's races are different than the general, for sure. Did you see the news that North Carolina passed the redistricting map, gives Republicans +1 seat? Yeah, I saw that. And I saw apparently Indiana might not pass theirs, which is surprising because they were supposed to at least get 1, but they could draw a map that would give Republicans 2 and still have all of the seats very safe. So I'm surprised that they're not going through with that. Yeah, Bitcoin will stay ahead of this quantum computing that the people think is going to be really bad. It's get. You're starting to think Republicans will hold the House? No, I think they can definitely hold the House. I mean, it's still, a year away, but it's definitely looking. I mean, these maps are a lot more favorable. This redistricting makes it a lot more favorable. It makes it more manageable.
Model of the White House and the ballroom. Many people were surprised the entire East Wing is being demolished because you had said initially that the ballroom would just touch or would not.
Well,
even touch
certain
it.
areas
What
are
happened?
certain areas are being left. We determined that after really a tremendous amount of study with some of the best architects in the world, we determined that really knocking it down, trying to use a little section. The East Wing was not much. There was not much left from the original. It was over the course of 100 years, it was changed. The columns were removed, and it was a much different building. Then a story was added on in 1948, 1949. There was a story added on, which was not particularly nice. And the building was very, very much changed from what it was originally. It was never thought of as being much. It was a very small building. And rather than allowing that to hurt a very expensive, beautiful building that, frankly, they've been after for years, you have.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see this renovation, and I might want to do a video on this renovation and talk about the history of this. This is kind of interesting stuff to me, but we'll have to see. He could want Greenland because it's connected to the North Pole. Well, it's part of the Arctic Circle. The territory is part of the Arctic Circle, a lot of it. Isn't there oil up there? Still think Russia would have the best rights to claim it. No, Russia would not have the best rights to claim Greenland at all. No, and there's no way with it being basically in NATO, de facto NATO control, that there's no way that would ever happen. Greenland? Trump ballroom is improving the White House in general. Yeah, I think it's a legacy thing, man. I agree with you. And I mean, look, you could say, well, it's large, but the thing is it's really off to the side. It's not like it's going to be right up against the White House. You can look at the White House. The White House is going to look the exact same. It's preserving the White House. It's not changing it in any crazy way because the location of it is further away. Would you make more money as a YouTuber or a Ohio congressman, senator? Dude, I have no clue how much they make. They probably make 200K, 300K if I had to guess. I don't know how much congressmen make, honestly. That's it's like, it's kind of funny they get the salary and stuff. I don't know. There needs to be a NATO resolution that the United States should control Greenland. You know, I agree. I think NATO would, and we want to have a good relationship with NATO. That's the thing. But you know, they still don't like Trump, even though that Trump's been nicer to NATO recently. 50 to 60K is how much they make. Damn. Well, they make a lot more probably through like fucking sponsorship deal. They make way more than that. There's no way. How's your sleeping? Sleeping's better because of the cold weather. Have you seen the independent journalists going undercover to the Antifa activities? They print materials at those places. The print materials at those places are beyond ridiculous. Antifa activities, what they print a bunch of signs, I'm guessing, and stuff like that. Did you see the incident at the Phoenix Mercury game with the genderless kid? No, I didn't see that. You're talking about the WNBA, right? Phoenix Mercury. Genderless kid. Oh, man. New DG vlog soon. I used to have a channel that was going to be titled DG Vlogs. It never went anywhere. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about making one about something. I have to think of something to do it. I'd have to have someone to film it. The WNBA is still happening. I think it's the finals or something of the WNBA, or maybe it finished. Yes, WNBA. YouTube won't let me elaborate. Hold on, let me say this. Do I just search gender? This has gone too far. Invited Phoenix Mercury team invited 7-year-old genderless child who appears to be a boy in makeup dressed up as little girl on court to dance, perform halftime show. Oh my goodness. Dude, anytime I go to a video, it's just automatically they copyright claim it and then they take. I mean, it really doesn't matter because it's not like there's a lot of revenue. This is just disturbing. It's just disturbing to look at. You don't realize how far left your cities are until you go to the independent bookstores advertising Antifa and far left books. Well, I mean, I mean, most cities with a lot of people are going to be pretty far left, but it depends, certainly. Yeah, that type of stuff. I mean, that's a societal decline to the 10th degree. That's what it is. You just have to call it societal decline. That's the best way to explain it. Societal decline, lack of religion, lack of family, lack of structural setup. Rent out the shoe and host a conference. Ohio Stadium, that's... Imagine somebody rented out Ohio Stadium, had a rally. Trump should do that. You get 100K people at the rally. Trump should build a massive stadium for rallies. Build a massive stadium in D.C. But D.C. is really liberal. Trump is trying to build, like, monuments now. You are late? Yeah, that's... I'll do a video maybe on that, talking about that. That'll be funny. Maybe on Friday I'll do a video. Too many unqualified people in power. Well, think about how many representatives there are. I mean, there's hundreds. So, and even locally, there's like thousands. So there's going to be a lot of unqualified people just in general that are in power. Yeah, this clip. Oh, man. Dude, I responded to this. I was like, Tucker was kidding. I said Tucker was kidding. Tucker got it. Tucker is, this dude is like, came in his pajamas, is like, your father's CIA. And then Tucker's like, I'm gonna beat you up. You watched The Black Phone too, and it was great. Really? Dude, you gotta be kidding me. That's crazy though, man. There's no movies. It's Halloween. There's no horror movies. The Black Phone 2, that's my options, really. I should have went to see it, honestly. I really should have. I don't want to disrespect Ethan Hawke. Tucker Fuentes interview soon. Alex Jones said they were going to have an interview. I don't know if that's happening or not. But, you know, Tucker lives in Maine. So if it happens, I think, you know, it'll probably leak. But Alex Jones said it was happening, so I don't know. Last time you dressed up for Halloween, what did you dress up as? I don't know. I had when I was a child. I was a soldier. I was a businessman. I don't even remember, honestly. Yeah, gold is going through a bit of a sell-off. It's not surprising. I mean, it ran like crazy. Tucker Carlson's trying to celebrate this gold run. He's like, gold is running us so much higher. Yeah, Bitcoin has gone up by like 500% in the past two and a half years. Maybe even more than that, maybe 700%. Because Bitcoin went from like the cycle low of 12K to 115K, whatever it is.
Donald Trump is once again preparing to fly out of the country. The east wing of the White House is being demolished so that Donald Trump can construct a ballroom where he will be celebrated like a king.
Yeah, maybe I should do an independent video on this. Let me go ahead and do something like that to really give people some examples and Maybe get some independent people to understand, because they're really trying to contort this and manipulate this like it's this terrible thing. This is what Trump is doing to the East Wing is really, it's nothing bad. It's an improvement actually, and the East Wing was never an important part of the White House, and it's a bunch of fake bullshit. Is what they're doing. More boomer adoption in gold so more people can celebrate it. Yeah, boomers, they love gold, they love silver. They love Bitcoin too, but he's one of the holdouts. Boomers they love any like stored value thing that goes up by like 5% in 50 years. No, I'm kidding, but the gold, Bitcoin, silver, platinum. How was my boy Defiant L? I don't know. That account got sold to a crypto person. I remember that. Trump posted about Pritzker. Did you see? Did he seriously? Yeah, here's the post about Pritzker talking about the violence in Chicago. Land and housing worked out well for boomers. Well, the appreciation of it, yeah. Those people bought houses, in some of those nicer areas of California for like $15,000. They're worth like 1.5 million now. I saw a few stories like that. I mean, it's got to be really valuable land to see an increase like that, but I mean, it's everywhere. Obviously, houses, 2,000 square foot house was insanely cheap, or not even inflation adjusted, just because houses now at raw are just so much more expensive, even if you adjust it. They said Trump is not on Epstein list. Oh, the Epstein list. Yeah. Boomer portfolio includes real estate, gold, and silver. Yeah, I saw that injury to Mike Evans. Yeah, he had that streak going of 1,000-yard seasons. I know. He's out for like at least 6 games. Upset of the week. Texas losing. I don't know how much of an upset that would be, honestly.
SG tip $9.99 through Super Chat. To the depressed Ginger, your voice moves slow, like honey at dusk, soft, aching, dangerous, with truth in its musk. Each word you spill feels warm on my skin, a secret I taste but keep.
What are you, a fucking poet or something? I mean, it's always just the weird stuff with you. Six to 7 games. We found the 14-year-old. 6'7", the 14-year-old. Yeah. What the hell is that love letter? Yeah, That dude always sends some weird shit. He's like a Uniswap developer. Thought on Mayfield being MVP this year until Monday night. Yeah, I don't know who's gonna be MVP. It's kind of like wide open. They say well Mahomes now. I don't think it's gonna be Mahomes. Are you active on IG? Um, not. I mean, I do go on IG sometimes. I look on the Explorer page, but not like on Twitter. On Twitter and YouTube, it's a lot more activity for sure. But I don't have much of a following on IG. I guess I don't really post things to really gain a following. Has the whale been poached? Haven't seen him in a while. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not sure. You said 6'7" in your video earlier today, but I restrained myself from commenting it. Yeah, I'm sure people commented it, honestly. If I said that. I didn't even know I said it if I said it.
SG tip $19.99 through Super Chat. DG, how many baddies have you cracked? Any liberal girls?
No. No. No liberal girls. Yeah, there's not going to be a toned down left versus right, especially after what happened to Kirk. It's not going to happen. Disclosed TV has 9-9 shooting situation. What does that mean? 9-9 shooting situation? I'm not sure. Yeah, the more tattoos, the better. When's the last time, if ever, you came to Cali? Yeah, I've been to California, but a while ago. When I was like 16 or 17, so like 2016. All right. Yeah, it's a fucking situation again. No, it should be back. I look at my Wi-Fi. It's down to 1 bar. I don't know, man. It's not a wired connection. That's the problem. Goes down to 1 bar. Would you accept a NordVPN sponsor? I'm not really in the market for sponsorships. I did have a VPN for a year. It cost me like $30. I mean, you could get a free VPN, but it's like a pain in the ass with the ads. But thoughts on NATO threatening to shoot down Putin's plane, preventing Trump from meeting? Huh. I mean, wasn't it Poland that said you're not allowed to go through our airspace or something? I think that's what happened. Yeah, we had a lot of wind. There is a lot of wind in Ohio right now. Tomorrow is going to be very windy too. And then I think the better weather is going to be next. At least the sun is going to be next week. It's been very overcast. They talk about Epstein. I mean, I'll take a look at it. I don't know. AI clone of his late wife. There's just something wrong with that. Is UCLA a trap game for IU this week, even though... Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, I think IU significantly... I don't know. I don't know about people being this high on Indiana. It feels like feels like a trap. But I don't know if that's a trap game. I mean, maybe at Penn State could be tougher for them because people think Penn State is terrible now, but I mean... Yeah, I mean, Poon could just avoid you could have that meeting in Budapest, I believe. You just have to avoid the airspaces. Yeah, I think people are kind of overrating Indiana.
Daniel Callahan tipped $10 through Super Chat. His skin so fair and rare. The red glare from his hair sets my heart aflare. Why can't it be mine? The red so divine? That teasing ginger, is his ownership of my soul is only a question of time?
Yeah, so we got a Riddler. We got a riddle off. We got a little jousting. The Fauci clip.
Keep trying, though. Doctor, how does it feel to have betrayed the country? How does it feel? Guy betrayed the country right here. Poisoned a bunch of people, a bunch of kids. Terrible. Terrible stuff.
How tall is he? 5'1"? What's Dr. Fauci's height? 4'11"? Prime Megan Fox or current Sabrina Carpenter. Maybe, probably Sabrina Carpenter. Megan Fox is tall, bro. That's the problem. No, I didn't take that. Why do you think Indiana is overrated? They beat Oregon. I mean, you could win a game. You could win a big game and still... Because it's like everyone thinks they're just this great team now. I don't really... I mean, you look at their roster makeup, I don't think they're this great team. Oh. I did a workout trying to freaking get muscle. I'm sore now. When will the government shutdown end? Nobody knows. Great. It's not rendering. What will be said at the second mayoral debate? Sexual harassment. Trump pardoned Diddy by Friday, 1% chance. Did you see Logan Paul had Cuomo today? That's desperation. That's some desperation. Logan Paul and Andrew Cuomo did a podcast. That's isn't Logan Paul like freaking from California or Puerto Rico or something? He moved there. What does he got with New York City and a mayoral election? That's desperation. What did you hit? Back. I gotta have a chest workout. Gotta do a chest workout, though. That podcast is almost as bad as the Nelk Boys with Netanyahu. Yeah, I mean, dude, that doesn't. I mean, they've got to be paying the Logan Paul money to do that. That seems like you're gonna have nothing in common. The material is gonna be bad. How much did they pay Logan Paul to do that as like an influencer? I guess. I mean, because why else would you do a podcast with Andrew Cuomo? It's just not gonna turn out well. Remember the Logan Paul Forest video? Yeah, I mean that was a while ago. The Suicide Forest. Do they have clips of it? Shocking moment. Logan Paul toward Andrew Cuomo.
I mean, the Charlie Kirk thing definitely had that effect on me. Like a guy
It's hard to take this seriously.
my age going out there, expressing his opinion and opening the stage for dialogue, and then just, you know, dies so tragically. And tragically because there's just so much unlived potential. I felt like Charlie would have been and easily could have been like a president of the United States. Makes me feel like the course of American history had been altered potentially a little.
How much would BB have to pay you to bring? How much would BB pay me to bring him on the channel? No, I would have him on for nothing. But it doesn't work that way. The only way that BB would come on a smaller channel, or just in general, a YouTuber, an independent YouTuber, is if the questions are already, he knows all the questions, and the questions are asked in the exact way that's to his liking. So basically, I'd just be a cuck for Israel if I had BB on, because the only way he would come on is if, I had questions that were that painted Israel in a good way, or like layup questions for him. Would you take a Prime sponsorship now that you're a gym bro? I never really liked Prime. Prime I can definitely see the appeal of it. Basically, what they did is because you see this with the diet pops and stuff, and people like them. You take all this artificial flavoring and you like up it to the 10th degree, and that's basically what Prime is. So they say, well, it's like it's got the best of both worlds. The flavor, it's like really sweet, but then it's only like 15 calories or whatever. But it's like aggressively sweet. Like you almost have to water down Prime. And because it's just all artificial, but it's just like a diet pop. Diet pops are like, well, how does this taste? Like it's all like artificial flavoring. I just don't know how you could like Prime. Prime is just, it's not something that's like, it's not a hydration drink. It's like maybe leisurely. I used to drink Powerade I know it's not good for you, but I just used to just straight up drink Powerade. Powerade is good. Like a blue or a red Powerade, they're good. I don't know, you shouldn't, but I used to just drink it without working out because it was good when I was younger. Because Powerade is good, but I don't know. Powerade is like less strong. Prime is stronger with all the artificial stuff. Like, what is this dude wearing, man? This is that Mike dude. Dude, you're wearing like fucking... You're wearing like sweatpants or some shit. This is just awkward, man. This type of stuff is just... obviously it's done to try and promote. You take a play from Trump's diet, usually Diet Coke. Yeah, Diet Coke will make you hungry. That it is true though. You can drink it at 0 calories, but it will make you hungry. It's called soda, unbelievably. Yeah, we never call it soda. We never called it soda. It is a Midwestern. It really depends where you're from, but we always call it pop. Soda has never been really an expression here. They asked Cuomo about his beef with Trump. Let's see if they have any clips on here. The Donald Trump interview. This was from over a year ago.
Ladies and gentlemen, Andrew Cuomo.
Thank you. Thank you.
Why would you want to be the mayor of New York?
We are at a point where we have to make progress. Mamdani is a socialist, the child of wealth, never had to work, never managed anyone. If Mamdani is elected mayor, Trump will take over New York.
So why is Mamdani currently leading the polls?
He has appealed with very simplistic solutions that would never work. Fast, free buses. Oh yeah, that sounds good. Everyone wants a fast bus. What do you want, a slow bus? Fast.
To curb the rat problem, which is worse than it's ever been before. New York is obviously bad.
More rats than people?
Yeah,
they're
disgusting. They're not scared.
They're not scared. They have that New York attitude. They like that.
What does your order in a deli or a bagel shop?
Being reckless, cream cheese and lox.
Reckless?
That cream cheese is like 9 million calories.
Yeah,
When they
it's
give
a
you
lot.
that New York City schmear, that they...
Have you had a good relationship with President Trump?
No, he puts his finger right in your chest. The only way to deal with him, put your finger back in his chest. And that's why we had the fights we had.
I want to ask you about your brother.
Yeah, we've had a crazy life, ups and downs. And plus, I can kick his ass on any given day, which just...
So that's what that is. It's just awkward. Do you drink milk? Now, only if it's in a smoothie or something like that. Like almond milk I've had, but or like with chocolate chip cookies. Other than that. You'd rather be stabbed in the leg than listen to this. This just doesn't work. This dynamic does not work. I'm surprised it's getting views. I mean, I guess. What are those AI videos? It's like the propaganda they're trying, I guess, against Mamdani. I mean, I think it's a bad situation for New York City. I really do. But it's more of symbolic of just where it is with the demographics. So I'm not too surprised that Mamdani may win. Kind of cringe, but he would be better than Mamdani. Oh, no, I 100% agree. But I mean, this is just where New York City is. It is kind of one of those things to where the only way, maybe the only way Mamdani wins is with the vote splitting. But even if it's just Cuomo against Mamdani, I think Mamdani still might win. It'd be like really close. Charlie Kirk interview on Tucker explains Mamdani's popularity to a T. It's like a crazy mind fuck. Charlie Kirk, being asked and giving a take on Mamdani. But I mean, he was just murdered less than a month ago, so. No, chocolate milk is really good. But dude, it's bad for you, man. I used to always drink chocolate milk. Dairyman's chocolate milk. I mean, you drink it, it's like, this is bad for you. Hot chocolate is also good. But, just watched a video about a guy talking about how unless someone charismatic and funny steps up, Nick Fuentes will be the new face of the right. Well, I think politics tends to change, 500 times over. We'll see what happens with that type of stuff where they talk about that. I think it changes a lot. The narrative it changes, and so we'll see. Yeah, guys, like the video, like the video. Seriously, just please listen to the Kirk Tucker interview if you haven't. When was the interview filmed? In the summer, I would imagine. What do you think about crypto? I think it's a great time to buy. I think it's a great time to buy. I still think we're headed for a significant run. It makes too much sense. Bitcoin is not, it's not like Bitcoin is breaking levels or anything like that. You know, it's been some bad micro price action. Some of it's because of some threats by Trump. It's just like, you know, it ebbs and flows. It hasn't been a great October, I 100%, but it's not going to work like every October we're going to see a crazy run. I mean, yes, if you compare it to 2017, 2021, 2013, it was better, but you drink hot chocolate supplement for sleep most nights. Probably like melatonin. Probably has melatonin in it or something. Mamdani said a few weeks ago that he will have the NYPD arrest Benjamin Netanyahu if he should. Yeah, but it's just like a fake threat. Why would Netanyahu's obviously not going to go there? So you can say whatever you want. Of course, you'll arrest Netanyahu if he goes to New York City. Netanyahu would get arrested. He goes to many different countries. He's just not going to go there. No melatonin. I take 12 milligrams of melatonin every night. Dude, that's tough. Well, I don't even know if that's a heavy dose of melatonin. I took melatonin a few times. I don't think it's good for you. You shouldn't take it. There's a, what is it? What's that other sleep, over-the-counter sleep pill? Magnesium is good for sleep. Although I took magnesium but I know magnesium is another one you take it at night. Crypto fear index is high right now. Buy the fear. Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's an obvious buying opportunity. You know, sometimes it doesn't work out because sometimes it goes lower, but you take THC to sleep. Randomly, one time a month, I just won't be able to fall asleep. I really need to start trying to find something to take on those nights that'll help me combat that. For your body, magnesium works better than melatonin. I think for mine, it's pretty comparable, but probably. You know, they have like little gummies now for sleep. They're a lot weaker, though, than melatonin. I see those all the time at like Target. You should do more of those life update videos. That first one you did was dope. Well, I have done other ones, but from a while ago. Normally, I do one like every 5 or 6 months, but I might do a few more other ones. CBD oil, since you don't smoke. I had like this CBD droplets or something. Yeah, I don't know. And I used to have like a vape of but I don't really like that stuff, honestly, man. It's just never I mean, I'm sure if I experimented enough to find the right concoction, I'd probably be able to mellow myself out and it'd be fun, but I never really liked that stuff. BB has nowhere else to go. He can only stay in Israel, maybe Florida, where his son lives. He can go to DC. He visits Trump routinely. You know, Trump doesn't arrest him. What do you think was the biggest story? OTD. Like, what you're asking me the biggest story today? I mean, I don't know. I mean, maybe maybe the New York City mayoral race or Trump ballroom expansion. There's really not a lot of huge I mean, or ICE, I guess, of the day. Yeah, I don't know. There's not a ton of I mean, it maybe the sanctions, maybe Trump upping sanctions, trying to pressure Russia to end the war with threats, maybe something like that. Thoughts on One Worldwide Plaza in New York City, Biso, for real? One Worldwide Plaza. I really don't have any thoughts on it. New York debate, the second mayoral debate. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see what comes of that. Who would be arrested first, Bibi or Putin? Depends what country they go to. You know, international law, I think, has Netanyahu with war crimes, so in many countries he'd be arrested. I don't know about Putin. Congress seat shift is a big story. One seat, I don't know. Because also Indiana said they might not be redistricting, so it's kind of like balanced itself out. Trump Gaza International Hotel. We'll see what they end up building there. I'm sure there's going to be renderings on like the renovated areas of Gaza. Here's a serious question. I'm looking to purchase a home, but waiting for the market to crash. I don't think the market will crash. I think there'll be a downturn. I don't think it's going to crash. Well, this 100% depends on what you're buying, where you're buying, and what city you're in. Some cities you could buy a house and it's not horrible. It depends. Are you trying to buy you're trying to buy a house, presumably, a home that's 20, 30 years old, I would guess. I mean, what are you looking for in terms of square footage? Are you looking for a suburban home? Are you looking for like a tenth of an acre? Are you looking for like a backyard, a front yard, things like that? It all goes into it. But you're not going to find an actual home. I would say it depends what area, but like under 300K, it's going to be tough. What do you like better, North or South Tower? I would say the North Tower is a bit better than the South, but it's just preference. North Tower was taller with the antenna. North Tower had the windows on the world. But I mean, they're very similar. The South Tower had the observation deck. Other than that, they're very similar. Wait until Fed cuts rates to buy. Yeah, the Fed's going to cut rates at least 2 times. So maybe early to mid 2026 would be best. You watched the government shutdown voting for 6 hours today? Seriously? What, on C-SPAN? Any place where people actually want to live, homes are always going to be at a premium and cost 200K. Yeah, I mean, it depends. But I mean, homes, if you want a decent home, maybe if you get a starter home, it'll be less. I don't know the exact market, but if you want a decent looking, relatively newer home, it's 350, 400. Yeah, the rates are coming down. The next 2 meetings, they're going to come down a bit, but not by a ton, but they're going to come down. Your parents own an acre and 5-bedroom in Houston, Texas for 900K. Texas has some cheap homes. I see them building homes. Now, they might not be the best built homes. They always talk about the inspectors come and it looks terrible, and it's like Venezuelan migrants doing the building, but you'll find a really nice, 5-bedroom, like 3,500 square feet, Brand new home, 350, 370. Your wife has 5-acre, 5-bedroom house in rural Oklahoma for $500K. Well, what's the square footage? Like 4,000? $200K will get you a nice double wide trailer here in Colorado. Yeah, Colorado's got to be expensive. Colorado's got to be driven up significantly. They got the migration from California, the migration from probably Oregon as well, I would say. $400K for a house is absolutely insane. It depends what house you're talking about. Your dad bought a home for $350K in 2000, now worth $1.1 million, 3,000 square foot. It's probably just a crazy area, crazy good area. $1.1 million for 3,000 square feet. It's got to be a very high property value.
Ukrainian Royal tip $5 through Super Chat. Okay, pick one. Chrysler or Empire State Building? I choose Worldwide Plaza. Thanks for the WTC videos.
Are you talking about like the plaza in between the towers? But I would pick Empire State Building. Between Chrysler and Empire State. But yeah, no problem, man. Homes require 2 incomes now. Well, that isn't that kind of like 2 incomes are not what they used to be. It's like repriced because of the expanded workforce with a lot of women entering it. It's like everything has to be recalibrated because men would just make more money. Their wages would be higher. Suitcase nuke. Yeah, I think that's got to be a troll. It doesn't even make sense. Pete Hegseth. I saw something about Pete Hegseth. I don't know exactly what it was. This is not what I was talking about. It was about like a bunch of the generals turning on Pete Hegseth or some bullshit. I don't know. They're not here to fish. They're not here to fish. Chances are they're just fishermen. Yeah, I don't think so. They're gonna have to stop. They're gonna have to stop going out with these drug boats. Do you think going through your own bank for a home loan is a good idea? It depends. Depends what they're offering. You don't want a loan, but you need a bigger place for sure. You know, I was watching the movie. You know the Downsized movie? I think it's called Downsized. What a dumb movie, man. That's actually a really cool concept. Is it called Downsized or Downsizing or something? With Matt Damon, he gets really tiny. I mean, I like the concept. They could have done so many cool things with it. It turns into this weird, like, with this Chinese lady or some shit. It's just, like, really odd. It's just like they ruined the movie. I was watching clips from it. I mean, I like the idea of the smaller people with, like, the models and stuff, of the homes and stuff, but it's just got really just stupid. You would think they would have gotten the memo on the fifth boat. They're just fishermen. That's what liberals say. They're just fishermen with like fucking 5 engines. Yeah. Where are their fishing rods? I don't see them anywhere. The fish, they store the drugs inside of the fish. Dude, I don't care about the Fetterman stuff. I mean, it's like... Alright, he's coming out supporting Republicans. I mean, Have you seen Chinese boats illegally fishing in other countries' water? Yeah, I've heard about that. They ravage the ecosystems. They fish in waters that are it's illegal to fish in, and they ravage the ecosystem. All right, guys, that's going to do it for this live stream. I'm going to end it there. I will see you guys later. Play the clip. Come on, bruh. Should I put money on Republicans winning the midterms? Not financial advice. But, dude, it's hard because it's like you'd be waiting over a year for that money to even come back to you. So that seems like not a great use. I would wait, honestly. It doesn't really make sense to bet on that stuff now. You're waiting over a year for your money. It's like, it's not worth it. All right, guys, I'll see ya.